So yes, is there a mass exodus out of New York City? If everybody is leaving New York City, I'm getting after it right now. If this is your first time to this channel and you want to know everything about living in Queens, the Bronx, and Long Island, New York, and subscribe below. Tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market in Queens, the Bronx, and Long Island. My name is Cornell Smith with eXp Realty. We get calls and emails every day from people just like you looking for help when making the move to Queens, the Bronx, and Long Island, and we absolutely love it. Whether you're moving 9 days or 90 days. Feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. All the information is in the description below, so it can help you make a smooth move to the Queens, the Bronx, and Long Island, New York. So yes, as I mentioned, I'm talking about the mass exodus out of New York City. Everybody leaving. So the other day, I read an article in the New York Post, and I'm going to show y'all that article about this mass exodus. So yes, four NYC boroughs lost more people since COVID than 40 of the largest U.S. counties, with the Bronx topping list study. So yes, four of New York City's five boroughs have lost a high percentage of residents since COVID than any of the 40 largest counties in the country, a startling new review of U.S. Census data shows. Topping the list is the Bronx with a 7.2% drop in the past 3 years, according to the analysis of county level population estimates. It's been good for us. We get more work, but it's sad, said Manny Gomez, a 42-year-old Bronx resident and employee of Morgan and Brothers Manhattan, a storage company and moving company in the borough's Mount Eden section. Rent is way higher. It's going up. People move out of state because apartments of 10, 20 years are too expensive, Gomez told the Post on Monday. The low guy is getting screwed over. It's not worth it to stay in the city. The Bronx had 1,356,476 residents last year, according to the census data, down from the 1,461,151 recorded in 2020. Brooklyn's Kings County came in at number two, suffering a 5.8% drop, and Queens County followed closely behind with a 5.7% decline of residents, according to the review carried out by Reggie Club, a news and research outlet that covers the U.S. housing market. Manhattan's New York County ranked fourth amongst the 40th largest counties in the U.S., losing residents with its population declining 4.8% since 2020, the analysis showed. It's getting harder to live in New York, said the owner of U-Haul franchise in Sunnyside, Queens, who only gave her first name running to the Post, echoing what New Yorkers have been saying for several years. So county population. So as you can see, Kings County, Brooklyn, lost 5.8% people from 2020. Queens County, Queens lost 5.7%. New York County, Manhattan lost 4.8%. Suffolk County, Long Island gained 0.1%. Nassau County, Long Island lost 0.6% of people. Bronx County lost 7.2%. So yes, Westchester, which borders Bronx to the north, you say suburb of New York City, lost 1.1% of people. And then actually, as we look down, Richmond County, Staten Island, actually, lost considerably less than other boroughs, lost 0.8% of people. So the cost of living in the city, whether it be prices, rampant crime, or the general rat race, is just too damn high for many people, while work from home options have made it easier to move out to cheaper, more spacious regions. And the exodus is apparently continuing. Gomez said business has been better than ever in the past 6 months. Renner agreed, saying her moving business was going down after COVID, but in the last few months is going back up. So many went out of town in the last few months, he said. A poll from the Citizens Budget Commission fewer than 2 weeks ago showed that just half of all New Yorkers plan to stay in the city over the next 5 years, and anger over quality of life has skyrocketed since the pandemic, with just 30% of people saying they're happy here. As for the latest data crunch, Staten Island suffered a population decline, but it's just considerably less than Gotham's other boroughs at just 0.8% within the past 3 years. Since the onset of the pandemic, there have been three population winners: the U.S. Southeast, Mountain West, and East Central Texas, says Reggie Club's co-founder Lance Lambert of his analysis. So yeah, as you can see, as we're saying, the Southeast gaining people, the Mountain West, and Texas. On the flip side, large, high-cost urban markets in the Northeast and West Coast have seen weaker growth or outright population declines, while the Big Apple saw droves of locals fleeing parts of Florida, Texas, and North Carolina were among the largest counties in the U.S. to see an influx. The review shows the Lone Stars State, Collin County, which covers a portion of Dallas, saw 11.1% increase in the past 3 years, while Florida's Hillsborough County, whose largest city is Tampa, recorded a 4.7% population increase. Queensboro President Donovan Richards on Monday blamed the Joes of New Yorkers fleeing, at least in part, on the surging cost of real estate. Home ownership is out of reach for the next generation. A lot of people are being priced out, Richards told the Post. In the past year alone, nearly 78,000 New York residents fled New York City, shrinking its population to 8.26 million people, the latest census estimates released last month. So still, Richards questioned whether the census figures were inflated in terms of loss of residents in Queens. Long Island City is the fastest growing community in the country. There's definitely a disconnect, he said. Added more housing was underway or planned for Willis Point and in southeast parts of the borough. And Girardin, research director at the Empire Center for Public Policy, said that in the past, the number of foreigners coming here illegally plus births offset New York City residents leaving other parts of the region or country. So let me see this right quick. So we can see other places. And their population growth. So Los Angeles County, home Los Angeles lost 3.3% people. Cook County, Chicago, lost 3.4% of people. Harris County, I believe that's Houston, gained 2.1% of people. Maricopa County, I think that's Phoenix, gained 3.2% of people. Clark County, I believe that's Las Vegas, gained 2.7% of people. Sacramento County, that's Sacramento, lost 0.1% of people. Philadelphia County, Philadelphia, lost 3.1% of people. And yeah, so that's that. But he said immigration plummeted in the city during under President Trump, followed by the coronavirus when feds imposed stricter policies for foreign entries to tame the deadly virus. That disrupted the normal cycle for New York City, said. Still, he said it's highly doubtful that U.S. demographers have accurately captured the recent influx of migrants to the Big Apple because of the disorganized way they are arriving. Mayor Adams' administration also questioned federal population figures, including as recently as last month when it said it'll be working with the Census Bureau to adjust its estimates upward. New York City has made a remarkable comeback since the pandemic. Jobs are at all-time high. Crime is down, and more people than ever want to live here. A rep for the city's Department of Planning said, while more than 180,000 migrants have come to the city seeking care since the spring of 2022, with 64,600 still in the city's care, July 23 estimate does not fully account for changes in this population. Our analysis indicates that the city population was essentially unchanged between 2022 and 23, and we'll be working with the Census Bureau to adjust the estimate. So yes, saying people are leaving, four boroughs, Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, and the Bronx, citing issues like, cost of living, quality of life, higher crime, etc., as reasons that they want to leave New York City. So let me address some of those topics. So like quality of life, I can't lie, if some people say that the quality of life in New York City has declined and they don't like, like the cost of living, how everything is, I can understand that. Now, crime, just in general, I'm the type of person believe like, the truth is somewhere in the middle. Things aren't as good as they seem, but they also aren't as bad as they seem. So when it comes to crime, I think that's kind of overblown and sensationalized. I'm not going to lie and say that New York City doesn't have crime, but how people are saying that, New York City is so criminally ridden, it's out of control, it's anarchy. I'm not sure I entirely believe that. I feel very safe wherever I go in New York City. And like again, I'm not saying that crime doesn't exist, but the fact that like New York City is a war zone, I just do not buy that. For instance, some people say the subways is crazy. So you have seen instances where you have craziness happening on the subway, and I don't want to be uncompassionate, unempathetic to the people who are in those situations. But I feel like those situations are rare. And when I take the subways, I feel safe. Albeit, I'll admit that I don't take the subways that often. So you take that what you will. But when I do take the subways, I do feel safe, and I don't feel threatened or anything of that nature. So let me just show y'all another article talking about housing and pricing and stuff. So yes, the five cheapest and five priciest states to buy a home in 2024, according to study. In 2024, aspiring homeowners need to earn a six-figure salary to afford a typical house in nearly half of all United States, according to a new analysis. In the West and Northeast in particular, the highest annual income is needed to afford a medium price home, while those in the South and Midwest need lower annual incomes by comparison. The analysis published by a personal finance site Bankrate looked at home sales, mortgage rates, property taxes, homeowners insurance rates across all 50 states and in the District of Columbia to determine the annual salary needed in order to afford a typical home in each state. It also looked at how much has changed since January 2020. Overall, Bankrate found that aspiring homeowners in the U.S. must earn $110,871 annually to afford a $402,343 home in 2024, the median price according to Redfin. The report said workers must earn 46% more income than they did in January 2020 to keep up with housing prices. This echoes previous estimates from Zillow, which also noted how home buyers will need to make about $106,500 or $47,000 more than they did in 2020 to comfortably afford a home in 2024. So I'll just say this: for those looking to buy homes and you may not have the income to do it yourself, you can see if you have family or friends that also want to buy real estate. You said teamwork makes the dream work. In that instance, all of y'all could pull your resources together and potentially, buy a home that you could potentially you could live in portions of. If it's a multi-family home, you could live in portions of it and rent it out. Just something to think about. So, if you don't have just again saying, if you don't have the income yourself, you could use other people, to help assist y'all in coming together, achieving your collective dream of home ownership. You could have as much as like 6, 7 co-borrowers on a loan if need be. All right, so surge in mortgage rates was one of the factors blamed for the increase in annual income needed to afford a home nationwide. Bankrate noted how mortgage rates jumped more than 3 full percentage points in the last few years. In January 2020, the average 30-year fixed rate was 3.68% compared to the 7.07% as of March 20th, according to Bankrate surveys of large lenders. Beyond elevated home prices and mortgage rates, those looking to buy a home are also facing shortages of houses. Many homeowners locked in ultra low mortgage rates during the pandemic are staying put to avoid today's storm mortgage rates, shrinking the pool of available homes for sale, experts say. So yes, that's the key point right here. We're in a market of high interest rates and very low in inventory. So debate economics 101. When the demand is high and supply is low, prices go up, and that's what we're seeing. So if you see anybody saying that the real estate market is going to crash, we're going to see like 50% price decreases. Just think about that. They're capping and trying to have sensationalized headlines for clickbait. The way the market is set up, it's very highly doubtful. There might be some markets where it's happening, but overall, and in New York, that's not happening. Because like I again, shortage of housing, and also during the Great Recession when prices dropped significantly, there was way more houses available to buy than actual buyers that wanted to buy. Right now, we're in the reverse where there's way more people that want to buy houses that there are houses available. That's you have so many competitions. you know, overbidding everybody, bidding prices up to, win the competition of this low inventory battle. So the salary needed to afford a typical home by state. Aspiring homeowners must earn at least 100,000 to afford a median price home in 22 states and the District of Columbia in 2024, according to bank rates analysis. So let's start with New York. You need to earn about $148,286 to afford a home in New York. In Connecticut, you need about $119,614. In Massachusetts, $162,471. In New Jersey, $152,186. In Florida, $114,771. Texas, $100,629. Hawaii, $185,829. Alaska, $97,800. California, $197,057. So yes, homes have become less affordable because home price appreciation has so far outpaced wage growth. Bank rate analysis Jeff Ostrowski said in a statement, "Why have prices gone up so quickly? Blame supply and demand. Over the past few years, the supply of homes have been constrained by a number of factors, including muted home building and the lock-in effect. But demands for homes have been growing, and there are more buyers than sellers." I just said that, there's so much buyer demand and not a lot of homes. And, one of the factors they say is that the fact that they haven't been building homes. I believe since the Great Recession, shortfall, you know, we have less than like 3 to 5 million homes that we need. That's why, affordable housing is such an issue. We just do not have enough housing to satiate the demand of people that want to buy and just in people want to live in places in general. So the 5 prices U.S. states to buy a home. Aspiring home buyers in certain states located in the West and Northeast need a minimum salary of $156,000 annually to afford a typical home. California requires the highest annual salary to afford a typical home at $197,057, according to bank rates analysis. So as you said, California over 197,000, Hawaii over 185,000, DC over 167,000, Massachusetts over 162,000, Washington, West Coast, Washington State 156 over 156,000. So those are all, in the West Coast or Northeast region coastlines on the Atlantic or the Pacific, essentially. And then the 5 cheapest U.S. states to buy a home. The Rust Belt and Sun Belt were identified as the most affordable regions in the country for housing, according to Bank Rates report. Ostrowski said the Sun Belt in particular has experienced an influx of new home buyers in the past few years, while the migration shift to the Sun Belt has made housing less affordable than what it used to be. It's good for long-term homeowners in those regions, he's added. That trend has been going on for decades and it has intensified. Meanwhile, some bargain hunters have been moving to affordable markets in the Rust Belt and Midwest. Mississippi requires the lowest income to afford a home in the United States at $63,043. See, Mississippi, $63,000 about. Ohio, about $64,000. Arkansas, about $64,000. Indiana, about $65,000. Kentucky, about $65,000. So all these cheaper states are essentially in the South or the Midwest. So yeah, I just want to show y'all that.